my English classroom. I am your English teacher Sheikh Rafi. In this video today I am going to start yet another fantastic lesson from your English textbook. It is B reading from Unit 1. Every success story is also a story of great failures. Dear students, if you remember when I taught you A reading, I told you that this unit is going to give you lessons for your life. I hope all of you would have been benefited from the life story of Nick. Here yet again we have a chapter which is going to motivate you just like something. So let us start it and enjoy it. Dear students, this chapter, every success story is also a story of great failures. It tells the basic thing about success. It tells what is needed to achieve success in life. Here in this chapter, the author gives you numerous examples where people have been greatly successful, but the world thinks that they have been lucky and that is why they were successful. The world doesn't know how they failed before achieving this success. So that is what is going to be discussed in this lesson. But before starting the lesson, let us first see about the author. I want all of you to open page number 17 of your textbook. Now see, they have given here about the author. The author's name is Shiva Khera. Let us see. Shiva Khera is an Indian author of self-help books and activist. While working in the United States, he was inspired by a lecture delivered by Norman Vincent Peale and followed his motivational teachings. Khera has written several books, including You Can Win. Now this is a very famous book, children. If it is possible for you, I suggest that all of you should buy your own copy of it. His mission is to ensure freedom through education and justice. Shiva Khera was born in a business family which used to have coal mines at Kendua in Dhanbad, India. Soon after the nationalization of coal mines by the Indian government, he had to search for his own living. In his early years, he worked as a car washer, a life insurance agent, and a franchise operator before he became a motivational speaker. Now that is the thing we need to understand. Whatever learnings or whatever experience Shiva Khera had in his own life, he had brought you the crush of entire thing in this chapter. So let us start the lesson. All of you look at page number 14, B reading. Every success story is also a story of great failures. Failure is the highway to success. Tom Watson Sr. said, if you want to succeed, double your failure rate. Now see here, the very first paragraph starts with a very strong statement. And it says that failures are very important for success. And if you want to success quickly, you have to fail quickly. Now, what does failure means here? It's not failing in examinations, right? Failure means giving an attempt and not able to succeed in that. Let us see further. If you study history, you will find that all stories of success are also stories of great failures. But people don't see the failures. They only see one side of the picture and they say that person got lucky. He must have been at the right place at the right time. Now that is the attitude of the people, students. People see only one side of the coin. They see only the success of the person. They never look at the hard work he had put to achieve that success. Now that is why they feel that they were very lucky. They had been at right place at right time and that's why they got lucky. Is it true? Was their success only a matter of luck? No, it wasn't a matter of luck. It was because of their hard work. They failed numerous times and then they achieved the success. Let us continue further. Let me share someone's life history with you This was a man who failed in business at the age of 21, was defeated in the legislative race at the age 22, failed again in the business at the age 24, overcame the death of his sweetheart at age 26, had a nervous breakdown at age 27, lost congressional race at the age 34, lost senatorial race at the age 45, failed in an effort to become vice president at the age 47, lost a senatorial race at the age 49, and was elected the president of United States at the age 52. My God, see the failures of this man. See the failures of this man. Now, who is this man? This man was Abraham Lincoln. This man was Abraham Lincoln, the previous president of United States of America, one of the world's most powerful countries, one of the world's most advanced countries. This man became the president of that powerful nation. And did he become in his first attempt? No. See his failures. He failed in business at the age of 21 when he was very young. Then what happened? Then he was defeated in legislative race at the age of 22. Now legislative elections or senatorial elections, these are elections just like we have MP, MLA elections in India. Right? So he failed again in business at the age of 24. 2 times he failed in business. See there. And he overcame the death of his sweetheart at the age of 26. Now that's another painful incident in his life. He lost his sweetheart at the age of 26. He had a nervous breakdown at the age of 27. A person is very young and he had a nervous breakdown. Now, what is a nervous breakdown means? Nervous breakdown means when a person is highly tensed, he loses entire control of his body. So that level of tension existed in Abraham Lincoln's life. Lost the congressional race at the age of 34, lost a senatorial race at the age of 45, failed in an effort to become vice president at the age of 47. My God, see, again and again, Abraham Lincoln is failing. Lost the senatorial race at the age of 49. Till the age of 49, he didn't see success at all. And finally, what happened? He was elected the president of United States at the age of 52. Now that is really amazing. See the next para. Would you call him a failure? Now that's a question. Would you call him a failure? He failed a number of times, but he succeeded only one time. Would you call him a failure? No, we can never say. He could have quit. Quit means stopped, give up. He could have quit. But to Lincoln, defeat was a detour and not a dead end. Defeat was a detour and not a dead end. That's what we should understand. Most of the people, when they try to achieve something in their life, if they fail, they stop, they quit. They don't try again. And that is why most of the people, they don't succeed in their life. But Abraham Lincoln was not like that. If Abraham Lincoln is on the path of achieving something, if it is a dead end, if the road ends there, he is going to take a detour. He is going to change his path. He is not going to stop his journey. He is not going to quit from the journey. So that is what we have to learn. We are also bound to face some problems in our life. We are also bound to fail in your lives. But does it mean that you are going to stop your journey of success? No, we don't have to stop it. We just have to take a detour. If we don't achieve something, we just need to change the way of achieving the thing. That's what Abraham Lincoln did. Let us continue. In 1913, Lee D Forrest, the inventor of the triad tube, was charged by the district attorney for using fraudulent means to mislead the people into buying stocks of his company by claiming that he could transmit the human voice across the Atlantic. He was publicly humiliated. Now here we get another character, right? What is his name? He is Lee D Forrest. And what is he famous for? He is famous for inventing triode tubes. Now this person was publicly humiliated. Humiliated means insulted. And what was the charge? The charge was put on by the attorney. Attorney means the judges. And what they said? They said that this man had used fraudulent means. He had misled the people to buy the shares in his own company. And how he misled? He said that he can transmit the voice across the Atlantic Ocean. He could transmit the voice across the Atlantic Ocean. Now this thing seems to be very common nowadays, because each person has a cell phone. Now we can talk to other person across not only Atlantic but throughout the world. But when in 1913 D Forrest said that he can make the voice transmit across the Atlantic, he was punished. People thought that he was cheating the people. He was a fraud, and he was publicly humiliated. Publicly humiliated. So that was the insult met by D Forrest. But is he a failure? Is he a failure? He is called the father of modern electronics age. He is called the father of modern electronics age. See the next sentence. Can you imagine where we would be without his inventions? My God, his invention is the base for all electronical industries. So that is how it happened, right? Though he did a great thing, but even he failed in his life when he was insulted publicly. See the next paragraph. A New York Times editorial on 10th December 1903 questioned the wisdom of the Wright brothers, who were trying to invent a machine heavier than air that would fly. Now this is what happened with Wright brothers. I hope all of you know Wright brothers were the inventors of aeroplane. Now what happened to them? The newspaper editorial of the New York Times. It's a very famous newspaper in America, in New York Times, and the editorial column of the New York Times, what did it do? It questioned the wisdom of the Wright brothers. Questioning wisdom means they are right away questioning their sanity. They questioned his wisdom, that how can a thing which is heavier than air can fly in the air? But what happened? See there. 1 week later at Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers took their famous flight. So it was just a matter of a week when they proved the news editors that they were wrong and what he did was right. So even in this way we can understand that Wright brothers also faced failures before achieving success. See the next para. Colonel Sanders, at age 65, with a beaten up car and a $100 check from Social Security, realized that he had to do something. He remembered his mother's recipe and went out selling. How many doors did he have to knock on before he got his first order? It is estimated that he had knocked on more than 1,000 doors before he got his first order. How many of us quit after 3 tries, 10 tries, 100 tries, and then we say we tried as hard as we could? Now here is another example, the life of another person, Colonel Sanders. His age was 65. Very old man with a beaten up car, old car, and he was getting a social security check of $100, like what we get in India. We call it pension. Government pays pension to old people. Similarly, he was getting $100 check from the government. That was all. He had nothing left over, and he knew that if he doesn't work, he will die of hunger. At that age, he wanted to do something. He had to do something. And what he started, he remembered only the recipes made by his mother. And he made it, and he started selling door to door. He started selling door to door. You know how many doors did he knock before getting his first order? More than 1,000 doors he knocked. And then he got his first order. Children, do you know who is this Colonel Sanders? He is the founder of KFC restaurant chains. KFC, Kentucky's Fried Chicken. Oh God, now that's a very famous brand. Now the situation is reverse. People stand in queue to buy his products. People stand in queue to buy his products, but in his early ages, that was the situation with the gentleman. He had failed in his life to such an extent. At the age of 65, see, 65 is generally the age when we generally think that people retire from the job. But here, he had to do something, or otherwise he will die of hunger. Now at that age he started, and he started selling his mother's recipe. And see the attempt. He didn't stop at once, twice, thrice, or 10 times. Generally, people like you and me, what we do, we try once, twice, thrice, or even 100 times, and thereafter we give up. But no, not with this gentleman. He tried 1,000 times, and it was after that he got first order, and from there he started business. And today we see that KFC chains of restaurants are worldwide famous, right? People die to eat KFC's chicken. Okay, children? Right, let us continue further. Let us see about one more great personality. As a young cartoonist, Walt Disney faced many rejections from newspaper editors who said he had no talent. One day, a minister at a church hired him to draw some cartoons. Disney was working out of a small mouse-infested shed near the church. After seeing a small mouse, he was inspired. That was the start of Mickey Mouse. Now, who is this Walt Disney? My God. Walt Disney doesn't need any introduction. You ask even kids, they will tell you who is Walt Disney. Right? The famous cartoon creators. And you start any cartoon programs, most of the characters in the cartoon programs are of Walt Disney. Now, even this gentleman faced failures in his life. And what was the failures? When he went for a job to the news editors, they rejected him by saying that he had no talent. Can you believe that he was rejected by saying that he had no talent? And what was the job he got? He was hired by a minister at a church. Minister means a higher official in the church. And what was the job given to him? He was given a job of painting the walls and draw some cartoons on it. Now he was working there. It was a small shed infested with rats, mouse. And there he saw a rat, and an idea came to his mind. Now that was the birth of Mickey Mouse, the very famous character which shook the entire world. Thereafter he came out with number of characters. Mickey Mouse is there, Donald Duck is there. These are all the famous characters created by Walt Disney. Now, do you call it a failure? Right? It's not a failure. He became successful, but before becoming successful, even he had faced many failures. Let us see the next personality. See the next line. Successful people don't do great things. They only do small things in a great way. Now, dear students, this is a beautiful statement given there. I want all of you to underline it. If possible, take a piece of chart, write it on a bold letters in it, and get it fixed somewhere in your home so that you can see it every day. This is a lesson for your life. What does it say? It says, successful people don't do great things. They do only small things in a great way. If you want to be successful in your life, you need not do great things. Whatever you do in your day-to-day life, do that thing with utmost interest, with full concentrate, putting 100% of your effort in that job, and I'm sure you will be successful. Children, that is the problem with the people. Most of the people, they do their work carelessly, negligently, effortlessly. They don't put efforts. They are never careful about it, and that is the reason why people fail. We should not do that thing. Whatever work we do, we should put 100% of our efforts. It is only then that we can achieve success in our life. So all of you must remember that thing. Let us see the next line. One day, a partially deaf 4-year-old kid came home with a note in his pocket from his teacher. So a 4-year-old kid came home, there was a note from his teacher. His mother took out the note and read it. What was written there? Your Tommy is too stupid to learn. Get him out of the school. his mother read the note. Now, can you imagine what will be the feelings of the mother? The teacher in the school, he is scolding her son that his son was a stupid, and the teacher asked him to take his son out of the school. Now, what did mother do? She answered, "My Tommy is not stupid to learn. I will teach him myself." Now see what happened. And that Tommy grew up to be the great Thomas Edison. That Tommy grew up to be the great Thomas Edison, Thomas Alva Edison. My God, he is an inspiration for all the scientists in the world. The person who invented bulb. Now see what happens. Thomas Edison had only 3 months of formal schooling and he was partially deaf. See the problems in his life. Only 3 months he went to school, formal schools. Rest of all the studies he did at home, and he was partially deaf. Now under these conditions he came up. Would you call him a failure? No, right? He is not a failure. He faced failures, but later on he became very successful. See the next person. Henry Ford forgot to put the reverse gear in the first car he made. Now here is the story of another gentleman, Henry Ford. Ford is a person who is famous for cars, right? Ford cars, Ford tractors, you would have heard, right? Worldwide Ford products are sold. And the person, when he made his first car, he forgot to put the reverse gear. Now that was a failure, but that is not at all. Today we see that Ford is a very, very successful man. Do you consider these people failures? They succeeded in spite of problems, not in the absence of problems. But to the world outside, it appears as though they just got lucky. Now that is what we have to understand. That is what we have to understand. The people succeeded in spite of problems. All of them faced problems. They didn't succeed in the absence of problems. Without problems, they succeeded. No, that is very, very rare. That is very, very rare. Everyone succeeded only and only after facing lots and lots of problems. So that is what we have to understand, children. If we are failing, we need not worry about that, right? The more and more we fail, it means the more and more closer we are getting to the success. Let us see further what does the author says. All success stories are stories of great failures. The only difference is that every time they failed, they bounced back. This is called failing forward rather than backward. You learn and move forward. Learn from your failures and keep moving. Now that is the Mool Mantra, basic principle behind succeeding. In the very first paragraph, the author said that failures are the highway to success. Then we have a doubt, sir, how could a person succeed if he fails? The more and more you fail, the more and more you learn from the failure what is needed to be successful in one's life. That is what we do. Every time we fail, we shouldn't stop. We should bounce back. We should bounce back. Bounce back means we should try again and again. We should try again and again. This is what author calls failing forward. We are failing, but we are failing forward. Every time we fail, we learn from our failures. We learn from our failures. So learn from your failure and keep moving. That is the key to success. That is the key to success. See the next para. In 1914, Thomas Edison, at age 67, lost his factory, which was worth a few $1 million on fire. He lost his factory, which was few $1 million worth on a fire. It had very little insurance. No longer a young man, Edison watched his lifetime effort go up in smoke. Go up in smoke. That is what happened in Thomas Edison's life at the age of 67. Whatever he had earned throughout his life, he had invested all that money in a company. And what happened one fine day? There was a fire accident and all his lifetime's earning burnt up to ashes. You would have seen such scenes in many films, right? When a person comes and he sees all his lifetime efforts, his factory, his business, his house being burned down to fire. And what happens to him? he immediately gets a heart attack and he dies there. But it was not with Thomas Edison. What he said, see that, beautifully said. What he said? There is a great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burnt up. Oh God. What he said? There is a great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burnt up. Thank God. We can start anew. We can start anew. Now see, that is the attitude of this man. He is thanking God. It is well and good. Whatever has burned down, it is well and good. All my mistakes have been burned down. And I can start a new. I can start a new. Now that was the attitude of this man. And what happened? See, in spite of the disasters, 3 weeks later, he invented the phonograph. What an attitude! What an attitude! Now that is the attitude we should all have, children. We should all have. We should never be afraid of failures. Failures are bound. Every time we fail, we need to learn from the failures and move on. Let us see the next paragraph. Below are more examples of the failures of successful peoples. Let us see those examples. Number 1, Thomas Edison failed approximately 10,000 times while he was working on the light bulb. Henry Ford was broke at the age of 40. Now you know both these people. You know Thomas Edison, you know Henry Ford. Now third person, Lee Iacocca, was fired by Henry Ford II at the age of 54. Now who is Lee Iacocca? Now he was an engineer who built Ford Mustang and Ford Pinto cars. These two cars are world famous car. Now even this person was fired from the job. See the next person. Young Beethoven was told that he had no talent for music, but he gave some of the best music to the world. Children, if you have a PC at your home, you can see the default music given in your PC is Beethoven's Symphony. Now he is a world famous musician. And what was the failure he failed? People said that he had no talent for music. Now that is how these people faced failures and came forward in their life. Let us see the next paragraphs. Setbacks are inevitable in life. Setbacks means failures. Inevitable means unavoidable. We cannot avoid failures in our life. Setbacks are inevitable in life. A setback can act as a driving force and also teach us humility. Now that is the importance of a setback. Whenever we fail, these failures, they give us a driving force. We feel that we have to try again. Now that feeling comes from a failure, and at the same time they teach us humility. They make us humble. They make us polite. What happens if a person succeeds at the very first time? He will become proud that yes, I can achieve anything. But if he fails, he becomes humble. He becomes polite. So setbacks, they teach us two things. What? Number 1, they act as a driving force, and number 2, they teach us humility. In grief, you will find courage and faith to overcome the setback. We need to learn to become victors and not victims. That is what we have to learn. Even when we are sad, even when we are in grief, these setbacks, they give us energy. They motivate us to do further. And what we have to do? We have to learn to become victors and not victims. Victim means one who suffers. So we shouldn't become victims. We should become victors. A person who wins the war. We should become victors and not victims. Fear and doubt short circuit the mind. Now this is something which you have to keep in mind. Never have a fear, never have a doubt in your mind, because the moment you get a doubt or fear in your mind, it is 100% sure that you are not going to achieve success in your life. Never have a doubt, never have a fear. We should learn to overcome fear and doubt in our life. Ask yourself after every setback, What did I learn from this experience? Only then you will be able to turn a stumbling block into a stepping stone. Now that is what we have to do. After every failure, we should question ourselves. What did I learn from this failure? What was the shortage? What didn't I do for which I didn't got success? This is what we have to learn, right? When we learn this thing, only then we can change the stumbling block. Stumbling block means a moving stone into a stepping stone, the stones that we climb to achieve success. The motivation to succeed comes from the burning desire to achieve a purpose. Every person should have a burning desire. Every person should want to achieve success in his life. If he has the desire, he will achieve it. Now what does further he says? See, Napoleon Hill wrote, whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Napoleon Hill is a famous American writer. What he says? He says, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. So it is entirely a mind game. If you believe, if you understand that you can do it, then definitely you can do it. See the next para. A young man asked Socrates the secret to success. Now Socrates is a philosopher. So a young man went to Socrates and asked him, what is the secret of success? Now what is Socrates said him? See, Socrates told the young man to meet him near the river the next morning. They met. Socrates asked the young man to walk with him towards the river. When the water got up to their neck, what is happening now? Socrates and that young man, they were walking towards the river into the water, and when the water got up to their necks, Socrates took the young man by surprise and ducked him into the water. He ducked him into the water. The boy struggled to get out. What is the boy doing? He's struggling to get out of the water, but Socrates was strong and kept him under there until the boy started turning blue. Until the boy started turning blue, Socrates pulled his head out of the water, and the first thing the young man did was to gasp. What happens when you come out of water? We take a long breath. So that is called gasp. So the young man did was to gasp and take a deep breath of air. Socrates asked, what did you want the most when you were there? What did you wanted the most when you were there? Where was the boy? When the boy was under the water. The boy replied, air. Socrates said, that is the secret to success. When you want success as badly as you wanted the air, then you will get it. There is no other secret. Now that was the secret told by Socrates. He said, if you want success as badly as you needed air under the water, you will get it. Which means you should be ready to die for success. You should have such a like for success that if you won't get it, you may feel to die. If that is the requirement, then you will definitely get success. See the next para. A burning desire is the starting point of all accomplishments. Just like a small fire cannot give much heat, a weak desire cannot produce great results. Now that is what we have to learn. A burning desire is the starting point for all accomplishments. Accomplishments means achievements, right? If you want to achieve anything in your life, the first thing is you should have a burning desire. A desire should be there in your heart to achieve something. If you don't have desire, you will never try for something. You will never try for something. So what does the author says? You should have a burning desire. And what he further says? He says, just like a small fire cannot give much heat, a small desire cannot give great results. So that is what we have to understand here. When you desire something, you should desire for big. You should aim for big. Only then you can achieve great things in life. If your desires are weak, they will never motivate you. Like a small fire, it cannot give you much heat. So always desire or dream big. So this is a very important statement which is given there. I want all of you to underline it and remember it for a life. Then lastly, he has given a small verse there. See there, if you think. See the paragraph. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you think you are beaten means lost, lose. So if you think you are beaten, you are beaten. If you think you dare not, you will never dare in your life. If you like to win but think you can't, it is almost a cinch you won't. You want to win but you think that you cannot, then it is 100% that you are never going to win it. If you think you will lose, you are lost. So what is happening here? Everything depends on thinking. For out in the world we find success begins with a fellow's will. It is all in the state of mind. It is all in the state of mind. It is entirely a mind game. Success is entirely a mind game. If you think, everything will happen. If you think not, nothing will happen in this world. If you think you are beaten, you are going to be beaten up. If you think you are lost, you will lose. If you think you cannot win, you will never win. So whatever you want to do, the thing should first start from your mind. You should have a will. See the next. If you think you are outclassed, you are. If you think you are outclassed, you are. You have got to think high to rise. You have got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. You are hoping for winning a prize, you should always think good of you. You should think higher of you. It is only then that you are going to win the medal. Life's battle don't always go to the stronger and faster man, but sooner or later the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Life's battle. We generally think that battles are won by the one who is mightier, who has lot of muscle, lot of energy, lot of power. But in true life it is not like that. Battles are won only by those people who are mentally strong, who thought that they can win, right? So that is what he says. But sooner or later the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. So it is entirely a mind game. That is what, children, you have to learn from this. Failures are bound. We are definitely going to face failures, but we should not be worried about failures. Seeing the failures, we should never stop our journey. What we have to do is we have to learn from the failures. We have to learn from the failures and we have to improve ourselves every time we fail. And again, if we keep on trying, we will definitely succeed in our life. So that was all from the lesson. Every success story is also a story of great failures. I hope all of you enjoyed the lesson and definitely would have found something for your life in this lesson. So children, thank you very much for listening. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.